Hello everyone. Today, oh wait, crap. All right. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. I got my tinfoil hat on because that's what people think about people who buy Bitcoin. They say the tinfoil hat people. They say that about gold. They say that about silver. If you're crazy, then you want to own these assets because you don't believe in the world, the economic system, and blah, blah, blah. It's not really me. Well, it is kind of. So I'd own some alternative assets. I'm a stock guy. I'm not a tinfoil hat wearer. So let's take it off. I'm just allocating capital out of the stock market, which I don't like to do. I mean, I'm a stock guy. I wish I were almost 100% stocks all the time. As we're going to talk about, I just don't think that's the way to go. So I have some physical gold. I have some physical silver. I own commodities. And I've got some money in bonds right now, but that's really just some short-term risk things in my own personal life that I've got to have some liquid money available. So I've never owned Bitcoin to date, and basically because it's way too hard.
That's what she said.
I've watched it for a couple years now. I've read about it. I've downloaded wallets. I mean, I've done all the kind of stuff about it. Here's why I never pulled the trigger and bought any cryptocurrency or any Bitcoin. I don't believe it is an investment. It might be money, maybe. I'm not sure it's going to be around, in 5, 10, 20 years. If Bitcoin, who says Bitcoin's going to win? If Bitcoin's a bad idea, I think altcoins are an even worse idea. I think they're really stupid. It's just people creating literally money out of thin air, which is the next point. It's all made up out of thin air. It's just, and people argue, well, it's not really, it's you have to mine it and do all this kind of stuff. But really, it's ones and zeros on a computer hard drive or mini computer hard drives. So it is money out of thin air. I mean, there's nothing backing it other than the ones and zeros. And I'm skeptical that it can become a real currency out in the world. And then ultimately, where I finally pulled the trigger is it could go to zero. I mean, it could literally be worth zero. Every cryptocurrency on the planet Earth could all go to zero for a variety of reasons. So in summary, way too hard.
That's what she said.
So why did I change my mind? Why do I now own Bitcoin? I do own Bitcoin. I finally pulled the trigger. I bought some. So a couple of reasons. It is insurance against today's financialized world. So if you follow financial markets, you will see that stocks are overvalued on a variety of measures. Bonds are overvalued on a variety of measures. Interest rates are at all times low. That means bonds are overvalued. Is all due to quantitative easing or all these reasons that, a lot of people don't understand and I don't understand and nobody understands. Okay. So I'm buying some insurance. It's like owning a home. You don't expect your home's going to burn down. I expect the world's going to be fine. I expect stocks are going to keep going up and we're all going to have food to eat and all that kind of thing. I don't expect that my house is going to burn down, but I have homeowners insurance in case it does. So for me, gold and silver and Bitcoin and commodities, those are an insurance policy against this financialized world that we're in. I ultimately believe that if any cryptocurrency wins or any digital currency does win, something like Bitcoin where it's an open source world, Bitcoin has characteristics that if any of them are going to win, it's the one. It's been carrying out its purpose for the last 10 years. I mean, it's a 10-year-old currency. It has pretty much done everything it was set out to do. It's a new technology. You're going to have bugs and you're going to have things that go wrong. There's a lot of people investing energy in solving those things. So I think it's carrying out its mandate. I think we will definitely have some sort of digital currency in the future. We'll have either a cryptocurrency or a digital currency. It may be government-backed or government-controlled. And will probably be that. If Bitcoin can become a good option there, then it's got some characteristics that make it, appealing in that space. I think it's also just a decent way to pull money out of the fiat monetary system. So if you believe that the fiat money system is a mess, that we're printing money out of thin air and it's driving inflation up in assets or in the real world, then you don't really believe in that fiat monetary system. And you want to have some kind of currency or money that's not held in that. So people hold gold for that reason. Gold's had value for thousands of years, and it will continue to have value. And then people say Bitcoin is digital gold, and I believe it has some of those characteristics. The other thing is just a lot of smart people and a lot of money is being invested into Bitcoin. Not really Bitcoin. It's an open source code base, right? But there's a lot of layers being stacked on top of that. And I saw a chart the other day that was just really fascinating on that showed just all these different technology layers and things that were laying on top of the Bitcoin model that that will continue to be developed. And there's a lot of smart people working in that industry and moving to that industry. It's, I think it's kind of like what the internet was back during the internet bubble. Did I say the word bubble? No, couldn't have said it. So the other thing is I'm often wrong, despite what I tell my wife. So I'm going to go with the George Costanza approach here. I normally would say Bitcoin's worthless and it's never going to be worth anything. I'm going to go with George Costanza and say I'm wrong all the time, so I'm just going to do the opposite of what I would normally do, and I'm going to buy Bitcoin and become a hodler. The other thing is, I don't believe it's a lottery ticket at this point. I mean, there's some pretty decent models that have been developed recently that kind of show what the value of Bitcoin is, and everybody knows financial models are never wrong. Yeah, I mean, if you can model it, it's worth something. It's a lottery ticket. I'll be honest, this is just a lottery ticket. I've not put my entire net worth in Bitcoin, but I've put enough money that I won't miss it if it's gone. I can just, work a little longer in my life and I'll never miss the money. I've also put enough in it that if it does the things that everybody says it's going to do, then I'll be a happy person and I will be glad I have put that money in it. So, HODL with a big question mark, I guess. So this is the Bitcoin chart over the last few months, and as you can see, it's all over the place and trending down. And then you can see right here recently, it kind of pegged out towards the bottom, and that's when Big Dino stepped right in. And you can see the immediate market reaction. Imagine that. People hear Bitcoin whales moving in, and they start buying it back up. So I think what I'm saying here, folks, is we have seen the bottom in Bitcoin. So there you have it from an expert on investments and all asset classes, basically. I mean, you would definitely want to listen to me. If you're going to listen to anybody, I would listen to me on this. So I didn't go into huge detail there about my gold holdings and my commodities holdings, and I go into detail on my stocks. All that's on my website, on my blog. I did not go into full detail on all this. I've written up a little post. I've put it out on my blog. I encourage you to read it if you have any interest in Bitcoin or any of those alternative asset classes and how they might fit in your portfolio. This is not investment advice because you're looking at a guy wearing a tinfoil hat who will probably be living under a bridge at some point in his life due to things like this video. All right, so happy investing out there. Good luck. HODL.